So that video that's before this video probably like 10 to 12 years old and what she was talking about. So now they reversed Roe versus Wade. And now all the women all over the world are in flux and everybody's mad. And you have the right to be. But this is, if I was a part of the 1%, so this is hypothetically, would I be doing this? And let's talk about white supremacy, because we do know that's a real thing. So, remember what, 2 years ago, with the whole border crisis with people coming in from Mexico and stuff like that, people of color, now the United States and everybody was fighting against to let them in, and it's too much this, too much that. But you have a war in Ukraine, and the United States is taking in as many refugees or whatever as they can, because they're Caucasian. And if you're paying attention to what she was saying about white supremacy and the numbers doing everything with the abortion, 60% of the women who have abortions are, Caucasian women. So let's just tying all this in together. And as I've been saying before, you traded off abortion rights for some kind of gun control legislation. And the legislation is a bunch of bullshit. You see, they didn't do absolutely nothing about the manufacturing of these guns. So, it was a while ago, probably like 2 to 3 years ago, I was having a conversation with a friend of mine. He's a Caucasian guy. He's pretty successful. I met him through the hospital because he ended up having a spinal cord injury or whatever. He's like from the East Coast. So we were sitting here talking. And when I told him that, African Americans are 11 to 12% of the population, so we can't be the ones who are committing the most crimes, he honestly did not believe me at all. Until me and my guy pulled up the numbers and the percentages, he was like, what? So this is how, again, mainstream media and etc. change the narrative and have people thinking whatever. You haven't done any real research yourself. But this goes to, now, my brothers. They're going to keep manufacturing guns, which helps with white supremacy. And I say that because every year in Milwaukee, you can bet on at least 150 murders of African American men by African American men. So we go to Chicago, every year you probably can bank on at least 300 murders of African American men by African American men. You can go to Baltimore. You see where I'm going with this? And so when I talk to my brothers and stuff like that about, us killing each other and me being a victim of gun violence myself, we are actively participating in white supremacy and the dwindling numbers. And that's why we always stay between 11 and 13% of the population. Because if you do the numbers and you go through every city where there's crime and quote unquote black on black crime, just think about that. So every year you're probably looking at closer, if not more, 2,000 or 3,000 murders of African American men all over this country every year. And then you factor in the incarceration rate, which is modern day slavery. This is how you get white supremacy. Females out number of men, period, on the planet, but especially in the African American community. So when I get to talking shit to people when it comes to this fucking rap music, and nowadays all this does is promote violence and murder. And rappers want to be out here living like the shit that they write, trying to prove a point to somebody for what? But all you're doing is contributing to white supremacy. Period. So no, these background check. Someone over 21 got back. Again, what do you think the people on the streets that killing one another, where do you think they getting these guns from? You think these motherfuckers having background checks? People ain't buying the guns. Motherfucker, the government supplies guns. Whether you want to believe it or not. So if you're not going into the store buying the guns, who you getting the guns from? You see how they keep on pacifying us with bullshit? You motherfuckers keep on running to the polls like they gonna fix some shit every time they give you something. Which ain't nothing but a little. They take some more shit away. So women now are mad because of you have a choice. And again, like I said before, if you've been raped, you should not be forced to have a baby. If you use protection and you end up pregnant, and you don't want to have a baby, you should not be forced to have a baby. But also, this sounds crazy. No, it doesn't. It's the truth. But outside of that, women, it's really on you not to get pregnant. And I say that because you can always just say no. Or, if we're going to do this, we're going to use some precautions so I don't get pregnant. It's really on you. You can say, what about the man? If you say no, all he has left to do is rape. And most men are doing that. You dictate and control the whole narrative when it comes to having sex with us. You have full control of a situation. If you go out here and get drunk and all that shit and end up sleeping with somebody, that's your fault. I don't give a fuck if the man is drunk and you all are both incoherent. He cannot get pregnant. It's on you. And it's also on you, Caucasian women especially, who, have all this fucking hate or dislike towards minority people based on the shit that you've been shown on TV and shit that the quote-unquote 1% white supremacy tell, and you agree with them simply because of the color of their skin and the so-called power that they hold. And what you fail to understand, women in general, you motherfuckers can run this world if you chose to. But you don't realize that everything that you think about yourself, majority of the things that you do is literally based around what men think. Remember back in the day when having a big ass wasn't a thing to do, especially for Caucasian women? And again, you bitches out running and dying to get big asses. In the gym doing squats, thousands of squats, and wearing these fucking yoga pants that's cuffed up in your... You didn't come up with that narrative yourself. Remember when your Caucasian counterparts told you having a big ass was horrible and you agreed? Listen to what you are being led down a slippery slope. And this is how the 1% continues to stay on top. Because we are actively participating in their methods. And you think that I came up with this everything. Even talk to my guys sometime, and all these motherfucker woke motherfuckers who say they know this and that. And I keep telling them, your shit is cookie cutter, and it's the same fucking narrative. Even the stance that you take, it's the stance that you've taken that white supremacy have given you the stance. Because it's the same fucking narrative. And then when motherfuckers like Kanye say some shit that's out the box, you motherfuckers so fucking sleep that you don't even understand it when he said slavery was a choice. Motherfucker, it is, because you know why? Some motherfuckers jumped off that boat and said, I'm not doing this shit, and I'd rather die. That's the choice he was talking about. Understand? I'm not ever voting again. This is a choice I'm making. Not that I can't, but I choose not to because I realize it's not doing a motherfucking thing. They say 70% of America is for abortion. But you got 12 motherfuckers or however many motherfuckers in there making decisions and like fuck what the most popular vote say. Again, your vote don't count. You're gonna have to do something more drastic and something on a bigger scale if we really want change in this country. In other words, we just running around here chasing our tails. So go to the poll and they give you all this bullshit to fight over, and then the right wing, left wing, airplane wing, bird wing, or what the fuck ever you want to call it, they get elected to office. Then they get to the Supreme Court. And what you all don't fail to understand, most of these motherfuckers in the media, most most, people in power, the government, they are lawyers. This is literally when it's the Democrats get support the Republicans. That's why they don't want to really an independent party. It's literally law. And these motherfuckers are in the courtroom, which is in the country. We are the fucking jury. And all they go up there, you got a defense lawyer and you have a prosecutor. And that's all they do. That's why they keep bringing up now we finna run to the polls. Because now you're going to try to get more Democrats in to hopefully change the seating in Supreme Court. But they ain't going to do shit anyways. They making you believe like you really have a choice, and they showing you on a regular basis that they don't. They have done nothing to the NRA. All they did is come up with some bullshit legislation talking about some fucking mental health shit. Nigga. Everybody don't have mental health because they go and shoot up some shit. Something that motherfuckers want to do. That don't make you crazy, motherfucker. Or that you got mental health issues. You might just look at the world in a whole nother different space, which you've been taught and set to believe, and this is the way that you think of correcting it. Motherfucker, that don't make you fucking mental health. I watch porn and people are eating ass on a regular basis. To me, that's mental health. Like, what the fuck are you doing? But I guess somebody started thinking outside the box and said, fuck all this other shit. I'm gonna eat some ass. And you look, the whole world eating ass. Probably separately. But this is all I'm saying. You are really, fuck all this woke shit. You gotta ask and pay attention. You can't keep running along in your world. I don't want to think about this. And they're saying, now look what happens. When you don't want to think about something, you just want to be off in your own little world. Little pig, let me in. Or I'm going to huff and puff and fuck your shit up. Good night, ladies.